Hi everyone, welcome to Social Work 522. This is the Research Methods course. My name is Brad Lynn, and I will be your instructor this semester. You may have seen my full name somewhere. My full name is Braden, but I go by Brad. You're welcome to call me Brad if you like. Also welcome to call me Dr. Lynn if you want to. That's fine too, but we don't need to be that formal. I'm an adjunct with CUCA. I've been with CUCA, I think, maybe 6 years now. Um, but always as an adjunct. What does that mean? Adjuncts are part-time, usually semester to semester. So I don't have an office on CUCA's campus. I don't have a phone, but I do obviously have a CUCA email address. Uh, my main job is as an alcohol researcher with the Clinical and Research Institute on Addictions. I work for the School of Medicine at the University of Buffalo in Buffalo, New York. So I'm a little ways down the road from CUCA. Our course is asynchronous online. So what that means, just moving ahead here real quick, and then I'll back up. But what that means is that each week you have sort of a set couple of tasks. Usually some reading, a lecture of some kind, and then an activity and or a discussion. There's obviously no discussion in the exam weeks, but we'll get to that here in a second. So new content always opens on Monday. Assignments always due Sunday at the end of the day. So a week, sort of runs from Monday to Sunday. Just backing up here to talk about kind of office hours and contacting me now. Since we are a completely asynchronous, we are an asynchronous online class. Office and because I don't have an office on campus, and because even if I did, there's a pretty severely reduced capacity on campus. We handle office hours a little bit differently. So I do what's called a virtual open door office policy. Call my cell phone 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week, anytime 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. My number is here on the screen, 585-750-7328. It's also on the syllabus, and it's on Moodle. I'll show you in a second. Leave a message if I don't answer. If I will answer if I'm not in a meeting or another class or something like that. But leave a message, and I'll call you back. Most of the time, I'm able to call back on the same day. Occasionally, it takes me until sort of the next day. I typically don't call people after 9 o'clock, only because I don't want to wake anyone up or disturb anyone. I am certainly happy, though, to talk outside of the hours of 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I know people have to work or have caregiving responsibilities, have other things going on. My preference would just be to make an appointment, say, have a scheduled time if we're going to talk at, say, 9:30 or 10 o'clock or something like that. As I said, I'm happy to do that. I just, I just sort of pick these 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., because it's sort of easy to remember and coincides, I think, with when most people are willing to make phone calls. I do ask, please, that you don't text. The reason for that is that texting is sort of an informal means of communication, something we do with our family and friends. And part of our job as MSW students is to really cultivate a sort of a professional identity. So my preference is that we stick with sort of formal means of communication, cell phone, email, that kind of thing. I do check email at least once a day, including on weekends. Most of the time, it's much more than once a day. Blinn at CUCA. Note that my last name is Linn. Kind of looks like Blinn. Blinn at CUCA.edu. If I send an email to the class, you cannot respond to it. It actually comes from a no reply email address. So if I can email the class through Moodle, I can sort of email everyone, but you cannot reply to that email because, like I said, it comes from a no reply account. Our class also is not particularly large. So even though we're scheduled to be sort of asynchronous, if you want to arrange a Zoom meeting as a class, we can. If you want to We could do some exam review. We could do, we could talk about papers. We could do, we could even deliver lectures that way. So let me know, and I will happily arrange sort of a Zoom meeting, a synchronous Zoom meeting for us. Also happy to arrange a Zoom meeting if uh, if you want to do a one-on-one meeting. Zoom is nice because you can share screens and we can see things, that kind of thing. So as I said a second ago, our week runs from Monday to Sunday. New content always opens up on Monday. I'll show you Moodle here in a second, and then we'll talk through the syllabus. Assignments are submitted to me via email. Again, I put my email address up there. There are no drop boxes on Moodle. The reason they're emailed to me is that you have a record of it, and so it's timestamped. And then it also prompts me to grade it and get it back to you. Please make sure you have the most recent version of the syllabus. When they create the Moodle site for me, it automatically populates with what is actually a really old version of the syllabus. So it's a PDF copy. It is not accurate. The dates are all wrong. It's a previous edition of the text. So the syllabus is in the week 1 folder. As I said, I'll show you that here in a second when we look at Moodle. And so just make sure you have that most recent version. Real quick, before we switch over to Moodle, let's talk about COVID. Obviously, COVID has kind of interfered with the world. Because we're asynchronous online, we shouldn't have to pivot to, we won't have to pivot from sort of seated sessions to online, that kind of thing. But who knows how COVID is going to impact our semester. My honest and genuine hope is that it doesn't, but I'm just not sure that we can. I'm not sure that we can expect it. If COVID impacts your life, get in touch with me. Let me know. Give me a call. Shoot me an email. If you fall ill and it's a serious illness, you could have a family member or a friend call me and let me know what's going on. What we can do is sort of come up with some contingency plans. Move some due dates around, move some expectations around, that kind of thing. But in order to do that, I have to hear from you, and I have to hear from you that something's wrong. If I don't hear from you, my hands are tied. There's nothing I can do to sort of make some accommodations, that kind of thing. If I should fall sick, someone from the department would take over the course. I don't know who it would be. That would be sort of figured out in the moment. Thankfully, most COVID illnesses are pretty mild, but we don't have the ability yet to predict when it's going to be a severe case or when it's going to be a mild case. And so my honest and genuine hope is that no one gets sick and COVID doesn't mess with our semester. But I just want you to have that information in the event that that something does happen. So talk about what so I'll switch over to Moodle here for a second, but there are a couple of tasks here in week 1. And so let me just pause the video and then I'll switch over and we'll talk about what Moodle looks like. All right, so here we are in Moodle. My version or my view might look slightly different, only because I have an instructor view. So right here at the top, obviously there's some information about our course. My information again, my phone number, email, and then the 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. thing. This stuff, my hunch is that you're unable to see it because I've hidden it from students. But a second ago, I mentioned that there's sort of a really old copy of the syllabus. This is it. This is that really old version. Like I said, it sort of auto-populates when they create the Moodle site for me. What I've done here is on Moodle is created folders for each week, and they're labeled with dates. Now the dates, this is a Monday. The first date is a Monday. This is a Sunday. So Monday, August 24th to Sunday, August 30th. That's that Monday to Sunday thing that I was talking about a few minutes ago. And obviously, all 15 weeks of the semester are labeled that way. Now they are set up to open open, I'm saying in quotes, they open up Monday at midnight, on that Monday at midnight. And the reason for that is that I sometimes mess with content, things like that, right up until the time that they open. So each, let me just turn off the editing view real quick, so this looks a little bit neater. So each week is sort of organized the same way. So when you click on the folder, it's sort of organized here the same way. There's these, I don't know if you want to call them section headings or whatever, but a couple of section headings, and I'm going to repeat these in every weekly folder. So this is sort of really predictable, really, really consistent, hopefully to alleviate any confusion. So there'll be an introduction. This will either be text or a video. Obviously, I'm recording this video now, so that link isn't quite there yet. But then reading, and the U and G text is Unruh and Grinnell. That's our textbook. So the reading for this week is chapters 1 and chapters 24. The syllabus is also part of the reading, and as I mentioned a second ago, this is that most recent version of the syllabus. It's from August 21st. So that's the second section. The third section is links to video lectures from me and PowerPoint slides. And then the last section will be the weekly discussion or weekly assignment. The discussion, or the sort of discussion / assignment for this week, is an introduction and a plagiarism tutorial. For this plagiarism tutorial, have your post-test results sent to me. You just sort of click on the link here, and it'll take you right to another. Well, I guess it takes you to another link, and this is, you sort of work through this, and like I said, you have your post-test results sent to me. Let me just back up here. The discussion, when you click on it, will take you right to the questions for the week, and then you can just add a new discussion post and go with that. Quick note about the lectures. The summer things sort of caught up. I sort of got away from me, and I have to reuse some lectures from my work at a different institution. I'm in the process of re-recording things and uploading them to YouTube, but the lectures probably for like weeks 1 and 2 or so are actually my old lectures from my Screencast-O-Matic account, and like I said, they're obviously from a different institution. I am like I said, I'm in the process of re-recording some of these lectures. The summer just sort of gotten away from me. So last thing real quick, let me pause the video. I'll switch over to my to the syllabus, and we'll just talk through that real quick. Okay, here we are with our course syllabus. It should be a Word document. Again, if it's a PDF, you might be looking at the old document, the old one. It should say SWK522 Research Methods Fall 2020 on it. So obviously my information up here, some information about the course. I'll let you read the objectives. Pay attention to the student guidelines, particularly number 4 here has some information about writing. In fact, please make sure you read the syllabus sort of all the way through in this first week. That's part of the reason why there's only 2 chapters in the text. And make sure you're familiar with the course policies and sort of what's in the syllabus. The reason I'm drawing your attention to number 4 here is that there's some information about my perspective on quotes, and it's important that you're familiar with that. If writing without quotes concerns you, get in touch with me. That's something we can talk about. There are sort of 4 assignments. The participation is sort of a category of assignments, but there's a lit review paper. There are 2 exams, a midterm and a final. and then, like I said, this category of participation things. The exams, they are, we can look at the schedule here. So the exams are scheduled for week 8, and then finals week. So that'll be like that first weekend in December. Um, and exams, because they're 25% of your grade and 30% of the grade, there'll be 25 questions and 30 questions. So 25 on the midterm, 30 for the final. It'll be a combination of multiple choice, true, false, and short answer questions. You'll have lots of time to complete the exam. You can use notes, you can use your book, you can use sort of anything you want. The only thing I ask is that you don't consult with each other during the exam. So it should be your work. But you really have a lot of advantages going into the exam. Like I said, you can use your book, you can use notes. I've got some review questions that I will share with you as well. So looking through the schedule here, the week, the date in the week always corresponds to that Monday, and then the sort of the topics for the week and the reading. I do list the reading in the Moodle page, so that'll be taken from here. Also list the discussion board, the weeks that we have discussion boards and things like that. So the lit review papers will be due at the end of week 15, and then the final exam will be at the end, or during finals week, and then obviously the midterm will be kind of in the middle of October. There's a description of the assignments here. Again, this would be an important thing to read. Make sure you understand. Make sure you understand it, or at least familiar with it, I guess is what I should say. Make sure you're at least familiar with it at this point in the semester. So there's sort of good descriptions of everything like that. So last thing I want to say is that my role here is really to be a resource for you and help you complete the course successfully. What that means is if you have questions, if you're having problems, that means we should talk. So send me an email, get on the phone, arrange a time to talk with me on Zoom. One of the really great things about online education is that there's a ton of flexibility. So you can do the work at any point in the week. It doesn't have to be done at any specific time during the week. But it is important that you do the work, sort of a little bit each day, and stay on schedule. If you find yourself procrastinating or falling behind, or you're starting to struggle with motivation, that's a really important time to contact me. As I said, my job here is to be a resource, and it's important to me that students succeed. And so I want to do everything I can to help you succeed. But in order for me to help you, I have to first know that you are struggling. So even though so like I said a second ago, one of the advantages of an online course is that there's a ton of flexibility. One of the disadvantages is that with that flexibility, there's not always a ton of opportunities for interactions between students and instructors, and so that's when that's why it's so important to pick up the phone, shoot me an email, that kind of thing. I love hearing from students. It brings me an immense amount of sort of joy and satisfaction to be able to work with students and help people become social workers, realize their dream to become social workers. So I'll end there. Thank you for watching. I'm looking forward to our work this semester and to getting to know each of you. All right, we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.